Life before a better way. Growing up, I had, I guess, what you would call a normal childhood. I grew up in like a Christian family, going to church. That's some of my earliest memories, is being in church. Nothing crazy to mention. But neither one of my parents did drugs or drink alcohol. So in my early teens, I guess around 14, I started off smoking marijuana like most people do. And then I believe when I was 17, that's when I first did methamphetamine, and that changed my world right there. That's the first time I did meth. It was it's never been the same since. So I knew my life was just out of control. My world just revolved around getting high. I knew I was a slave to the dope. I hated it. I hated being controlled by things, but I knew it had a hold of me. I knew I needed to take drastic measures to change the path I was on. I've had several bouts of sobriety in the past, but it just never stuck because I don't think I ever had God in the equation. But I just knew I needed a new way to live. I needed to learn something different because my whole life, it's just been no responsibility, getting high. I heard about a better way when from a person named Bobby Dodd, when I got locked up in a place somewhere I didn't even know where I was at, in Dodge County, Dodge County Jail. And this guy came around doing weekly Bible studies, and at first I was like, who is this crazy guy telling telling all this, I love you, brother, and I love you, brother. And then the more he came, I was like, man, I want, this guy's got something here. I'd like to have some of what he has. So he got me an acceptance letter to a better way, and when they finally let me go there, I came here. When I pulled up on property, the first thing I saw was one of my future shepherds named Patrick Anderson standing on the porch waving me down. I was still unsure, that I hadn't made the right choice at that time, but the grounds were really nice and manicured. It was a beautiful place. So the structure of a better way, it was it took some getting used to, getting up at the 4:45, only having 2 cups of coffee, having to clean nasty, disgusting toilets, clean up after other men. It really was a slap in the face at first. The brotherhood here at A Better Way, it's awesome. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. Growing up, I never had brothers. I had a sister, but now I have a whole herd of brothers that sometimes you can't stand, but you still love them to death. So one brother in particular, Joe Talley, I would have not stayed had it not been for him. The Florida trip was amazing. I had heard about others' trips from other guys that went, but it was, no matter what, I couldn't imagine how it was. It was amazing. I've been to this ocean several times, but this time we were worried about packing food and sunscreen instead of making sure we had enough drugs and alcohol to fuel us. So I actually have memories this time that I can remember instead of just foggy haze of the ocean. It was definitely amazing. So A Better Way has changed my life. In many ways, all for the better. It's restored relationships with my family and my wife. But just most of all, I'm free. I'm not a slave to the dope anymore. Luckily, God guided me in His gentle correction. He put me someplace to get my head on straight before I came here, then provided A Better Way. It's a platform where I could build a firm foundation for a life of sobriety with God.